Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a channel dream message and reading video. I really wanted to come back to do a reading sooner rather than later because I do know that there are more of like the happier readings and some that address things that, you know, are in life, or those are discussions or things that um, can come up in readings, like in the last reading. And there was a lot of energy when I was doing it, and I wanted to share what I dreamt of last night because I thought it was super interesting and it was really specific. So and I also wanted to add, like, when you add different decks to the readings, sometimes like I use decks for different things and for different times. And a lot of times when I move, I tend to gravitate towards other decks. So sometimes like things can maybe resurface, or other topics and even like of course interpretations from those decks can come up differently because there's different imagery, and the way that the artist looks at those cards are in a different perspective, in a sense, from another person, and still having the foundation of a tarot system, depending on which type of tarot system you're reading from. So it the dream, it is one where it's like takes place in the backyard of the house. So it was a couple years ago when my godparents got the pool filled because um, no one was really using the pool, and it is a lot to keep up with. So the pool was like, I guess, I don't know what you do with pools, but like it's not there anymore, or it was covered up. But in my dream, it was like the pool was still there. And it was weird because in my dream I was also using my phone to like kind of film the experience because it was so unusual. Like in my dream I was like filming it from like looking from the inside. Um, because I saw a bunch of goats and like donkeys. I would say donkeys because like that type of creature that was showing up in my dream, it was like reminded me of like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and I'm pretty sure he's a donkey. I've I've honestly never watched it, but I'm thinking that's what it was. And eventually the goats in the dreams that were kind of like hopping around all over the place, there were a lot of them. It was like they were coming from the earth because, or they were of the earth because they were like the land, like the floor leaves, or like I guess forest leaves, if you want to call it that. 'Cause technically, there's like a lot of forest area behind this property, and in a lot of areas that aren't inhabited. So some of the goats, it looked like they were growing like leaves and vines all over them, but they were still like hopping around. It didn't seem to be bothering them. And then the area where the pool was, it looked like it was also forest floor because it was filled with like leaves and vines, and um, it was covered until it wasn't. So one like a moment you see, well, I saw the forest floor, and the next minute there wasn't forest floor. It was like like it was kind of like dug up earth because you could see like the dark soil and it was barren. And I was told specifically that it was like the sacred animals of Egypt. I thought that was interesting because I was like, it's a specific thing to say. So there were four animal beings that were in that pool area. They were really large. They were like, I would say the size of like, cattle. And I can distinguish like I think two of them. The other two, I am hesitant to say what um they could be because when I think about like deities and the sacred animals of Egypt, they're not some of them that I thought maybe it could have been, it wasn't. Oh, two of them, it looked like one for sure looked like a cow, and I guess cow cattle. Um, they had the horns, and then the other two, one of the beings had like tusks like here, and so I couldn't really distinguish what they were because I thought that maybe they could be like extremely large boars. And I have seen like boar deities, but not like Egyptian, but I don't know so much about like um that area. So, but like an overall thing, I didn't think that they were, but they were for sure like four of them, and they were in this the barren earth. And what I thought was what it got um or and then I was thinking like maybe a bull, but four all together and a lot larger than the other animals. And I was a little kind of like freaked. I was freaking out a little bit at first because the animals that were surrounding the pool, they were they started all of a sudden they were like gravel, like small rocks or like um that I guess you would fill stuff with, or maybe you would like decorate landscape with. So they started pushing a bunch of like this gravel where this pool was, where the four beings were, to a point where like it was a lot of gravel, where it was like creeping up on them, and I'm like, well, I don't want them to get like buried in this gravel, but they were eventually like creeping their way up to like the top of the pool, I guess, or like that hole because it was like the more gravel they put, I guess the more like steps they could make to do that. And they did it, and they started to like work their way up once like the pool was once the gravel was like filling up to their neck, and moved towards like the side of the pool until there was enough gravel to get out. So that was like what I remembered from that portion of the dream. Um, and I just figured I would share that. I also wanted to put the deck in here. Um, I also wanted to get this reading out too because I don't know how hectic it's going to be the next couple of days because my godmother's family is visiting. Of course, my godbrother is going to be here to get the cats, but they were driving across country. So, or he was driving across country, sorry. And he is coming from like all the way on the other side. So it's over, I would say like a 17-hour trip and then making pit stops and stuff. So I there's like going to be maybe a couple days where he'll be here, but then I'm not going to be here because there's going to be more family that comes over, and I'll just kind of think about it. I know for sure I'm going to go back to where my job and storage unit is, pop in for a couple hours, like I've been saying, at the pharmacy, and then get my car cleaned, even though they're still saying, your visa's still processing, but you should be approved. We'll give you updates. But I want the car to be ready for when I need to sell it. So I'm probably going to, oh, another interesting thing that happened. So I'm going to build this and then I'll get into the reading. Um, so after a long couple of days of going back and forth with the post office, the last, I guess, complaint that it is a complaint that I had for them because I did it over the phone and it's really hard to reach the actual office. I don't know if you even can reach the office and like over the phone. Um, they were saying that they made a mistake and it shouldn't have been sent back for my electric spinning wheel. And I don't know. I guess they're trying to retrieve it at this point because of what they were saying about it, but I'm not too sure because it's the 12th now. So like on the 9th, they were saying that um it was in New York Customs. So that's like one of the places or in this part of the US. It's the place before it goes overseas or what it or the place that it goes to when it's coming from overseas. So it hasn't changed in that way, and it was over the weekend, so I'm not really sure. I'm assuming they like the people, but not the office, or the people that work in other areas are doing other things. I'm not too sure. So I'll see what happens, but I think they'll get the package back because I was pretty direct about the situation, and I said things, I wrote things, and I was like it was kind of like the energy of like dragging somebody by their hair and like dragging it to like the core of the fucking earth type of energy. I wasn't needing them to like bow down to me or anything, to just say, um, just to appease that situation in that way. I was like, just fucking fix it. And and it, I, they might be. I'm not sure. I would assume that it's cheaper for them to retrieve the package rather than to give the people a refund. And either way, I'm not gonna get the money from like the people that I bought it from because like one of the incentives was I was thinking that they would probably need it for things like food and supplies. So um I'll see, but it seems a little hopeful, and I'll have my newest knitted Calvella book, and it's my favorite knitwear designer, and she came out with another book. So I'll be able to show that too. I was kind of thinking, like, I have rosary beads that go with the Slavic Legends Tarot, and so I was thinking maybe it could just be there and then close like this because there's still a little bit of space at the top. So let me see, because I was also thinking, should I do an extension of it? But I don't think that's necessary. So this is the deck bag, and I think it's really nice. It's just been like a red and black theme for me for other knits as well. And then before I get started on the reading, I'm sorry, I want to show my other deck bag that I'm working on. The thing with this one is I don't know what deck will be in here because it's the largest one that I've knit up because I'm using larger needles and well it goes with the Richasaria brusca and the handspun yarn too. It works fine with that. And um, let me see. This is what I have so far. I think it's really just so delicate and I love it. It really has like I know I've knit this pattern a couple of times. This is the Algebra pouch, but I would love this in a garment too. I like the subtle contrast that it has. So I'll see what deck might go in here. It'll have to be one of the larger ones or something that has like that's in a box or even the book. I don't really keep the books with the decks, but when I get further along and I see other things like my storage unit, I'm gonna get another box of decks because I'm deciding the things I'm going to carry on and check in and want to have right away because I'm gonna um, have a lot of my knitwear, majority of my knitwear. I'm gonna get more of my jackets. I know I'm like, I don't need to carry every jacket, but I just think it's gonna be really necessary to have those things. My mittens I'm gonna pick up. I do have a pair of mittens that's my Hema mittens or fingerless gloves that are my Ukrainian mittens, and then I have another pair that I knit up that I'll do something with. I'll either sell it or gift it because I'm already like buying stuff from the different Ukrainian sellers anyway. So I'm like, well, I could just like do whatever with it. I think it's really such a fun and um the pattern is just one of my favorites. I love looking at the mittens. So super 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 long intro. I don't know what to say because every time I like say this for like the description, oh man. I I just keep talking. I did get my laundry upstairs. I did the laundry for things that were in my car while I was staying at the hotel for the last couple months. And then it just to wash it because it's just been in the car. And now I'm washing the stuff that has been like in the luggage and stuff that I wear too. First card that comes out is the Strength card. I feel like there's like this moment in time specifically where even when you are vulnerable, it can't be a time where you just like back down. I feel this a lot with like mental stability too, because this could be like a like either a family unit, this could be with your partner, um, children, family, an extended family unit. It doesn't have to be directly related to you, but it's like it feels like energy that just like pitches in. And even when people do want to help out or try to give you some of their strength too, um, it can be hard because there's just so much going on that it takes a lot out of the different people that are there. I think this could be more validation with the Ace of Swords. Like it kind of feels like ruffling your feathers. And I'll pull out from the other decks. There might be some like convincing, like I keep getting this where um I feel like Archangel Jeremiel really hones in when I get some of the messages because he tends to send like messages through like different movie scenes. And one thing that keeps popping up is like I guess it's an American, no it's not. Is it? Well, I guess it's just in general. It's one of those Sherlock Holmes movies, and it's I think it's the latest one where it's kind of like the last hurrah type of thing, where Sherlock Holmes needs to like solve a mystery, and then his best friend Watson is like moving on with his life, and um Sherlock Holmes needs to like convince him that I have something here and you need to go with me to like solve this crime or mystery, and then you can just go back and like move on with your life. This is like the last time that we'll do this. And then Watson's like, fine, because he got married and was just trying to do other things. This one I brought out, it's the Universal Folk Tarot. And it seems a little jumpy right now, so I feel like there will be some good messages in here. I was also thinking that maybe I could put the deck in there, but even this is too small for that deck bag. Um, this one just jumped, so I'll include that one. Sorry, I got like fiber in my face. And if I'm just like moving, it's because I try to not just like stay in that one position for so long. This bed is like really old. So it's one of those spring mattresses. I'm not complaining. I don't mind sleeping on the floor. I don't find it super uncomfortable. It depends like if it if I feel like it's clean to do that, but overall I don't really mind. But sometimes like after a while and in general too, because I've had this when I was at the hotel where I was sitting for a while in the same spot and I was getting sore. I even brought the sunflower field tarot out because like the warmth of the sun on the cards was standing out to me. I felt like it would be nice to have them in this reading. And also moving because I don't want to ache all over my body yada yada. See. It's so funny with the one card brilliant idea because um, I feel like all of those ideas that I have that are kind of out there, and then I get this card, and if this is for the reading too, but it's really an idea. Archangel Uriel, yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Then creative writing. Archangel Gabriel, take time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen in article or book. This is an interesting one um, because let me read the other one. Compassion, Archangel Zadkiel, soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So this is one of probably the most important cards that I have for the Ukrainian readings too, because I was thinking about that when I was doing the last reading, because I'm just like, well, this is the video, I guess. I'm gonna commit to it, and I'm gonna do it because it could have benefited somebody that needed to hear that. And even when you're backtracking, if it's not happening in like your current situation, your current life, there still might be remnants, and that could be healing. I know a lot of times, like, I thought it was like really healing when I would talk about like my childhood bedroom and how I just have nightmares about it, and it doesn't even have like crazy things in the dream. It's just like a plain bedroom before, and it just like completely healed. Um, because I did dream that was like more of the personal part of my dream last night where I dreamt about my bedroom, but it was like completely different where there were like different energies that were trying to come to me to like give me comfort and to care. So it's just like a complete like opposite of what I was getting before. And with creative writing, that was like an important thing that I was thinking about too, because as I said, like I did not think I was gonna be like a BS student because of my degree. I thought I was like gonna be a BA student. Um, because I just love the idea of writing and I just when I chose the degree that I chose, it was like over time of seeing what I felt like I was passionate about. And I feel like it really reflects in the work that you show the professors and the things that you do on a daily basis, not just in work but outside of work too. And those creative ideas, the creative writing, everything, like all those juices just start to flow where you just feel like the fucking bomb.com because this is something that you just want to excel at and you want to keep going. You want to keep optimizing, making things better than it was before, creating that life that you wanted. In another type of job that maybe I was like thinking about was like with writing, and I love like stories and folklore, mythology, whatever you want to call it, but they all come down to like a main source where it brings it down to like that conclusion or those ideologies or those lessons that a lot of parables in different religions, spiritualities have. And so another thing that you could maybe do is like screenwriting too. And I just thought that was just such a fun and excellent thing that maybe I would have wanted to do because I love stories, as I said. Um, like the twists and turns, the climaxes, maybe the downfalls of some characters, maybe the self-actualizations, the realizations that you have for yourself and even the other people, the other game players, as I was talking about, not necessarily only with that topic of the things that I was talking about in the last video, but just learning about life and being able to um, live life in the best capable way that you can and enjoy it. It really is such an inspirational thing to do to write something that's so impactful that it causes people to go for things that they were destined to do and gives them the courage and gives them the inspiration, those ability to see things for what they could be, to dream, and to make those things into reality. Um, to give hope to people if they're in situations where it feels like life itself just crumbles down. And as I was saying before, it's like, why do people destroy things? Or why do people take things? And it's like, some people just want to take the land and destroy it and then build a casino on top of it. For what reason? They have maybe something else on their mind than another person has, than what another person has. But if you read a story and it makes you hold on to that hope, I just feel like it does its job and due diligence, and it's something that it's one of those dreamy jobs that if I could, maybe I could go back to school, but I use the military benefits. I don't know if I could use them again. Um, but I also know that once you start getting things in other places, like experience, um, it tends to lean more on those sides. But luckily, with my experiences, I've done a lot of different odd jobs and to where like I really have to concentrate my resume on certain things because it's just such a random mess. But life itself, that's what it is. And you can't just cram it into one resume. You can't just cram your life in one paragraph, in one conversation. And that's why I feel like when you really get to know somebody, it's more than just surface level. There's so much more layers that can go into it, um, on why somebody smiles when this happens to them, why they get sad at this specific thing that might just seem like it's so random, to one person, and to another person it just might be like maybe this happened at this time, and that's that's just the way the cookie crumbles with that. Um, what makes their heart sing? Well, what made my heart sing was when this happened on February 22nd, and I was just so appreciative and so happy and so um, just full of life that day. And it just gives me those memories. It gives me the memories of nostalgia that people dream about. People really do dream about those good moments in life. So another card that we have is Gentleness, Archangel Saldathon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. And let me go through the other cards. I feel like, comedians, they kind of make light of certain situations. And I can see from different perspectives of why you get like people involved that are already involved in those situations would get like fucking pissed. And then the other think about it is like maybe that's how they cope. And I'm not trying to like make things lighter than what they need to be, but um, it just seems like a curious energy because you have from the Glory to Ukraine tarot, the Death card. And this is like keeps popping out. So I'm gonna say it as reverse because that's how it keeps like coming out to me. With the Queen of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Sorry. Because with the Queen of Cups, it feels like the cup is overflowing. And with the Death card being reversed, it's like not yet. Because there's so much that goes on with this. I feel like it could be a dynamic between the Queen of Cups and the King of Pentacles. And with the King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, I feel like the King of Pentacles might be a little frugal in different places. Not because he doesn't want to give to it, but there's just something greater that he's trying to achieve. Like if you're trying to buy a house and like you're barely getting like those expensive uh, clothing items or like food that you would rather have, those things that might make life a little bit more convenient or easier, they tend to come with a price tag too. And to just live by the means or do what they can until they get to the point where they could say, I finally saved up, or I finally am at this point where I could do this, that, and the third. And with that one, it kind of feels like since this person is a little frugal, And this person seems to be overflowing, even though it's different elements that I'm talking about here. And it does link well with the water suit with the death card. That it's like she's picking up what he's putting down. Like she is 120% all in, maybe 210% in, and that's like the overflowing of it. And picking up what he's putting down, like she's kind of like getting the gist of what he's doing. It's like when you get to know your partner enough and those certain mannerisms, it doesn't have to be a relationship, but since the Queen of Cups comes up, I feel like it can lean towards that. That um, you just like understand each other on that level to where sometimes like you might not even have to like vocalize it. And of course, communication is really important for a lot of areas of your life, and it's great for validation and not to be second guessing and to give direct answers. That's great too. But sometimes maybe a person's not in that situation or mindset to be able to give those direct answers. And sometimes when you are confined or um, not used to being as vocal or talkative or expressing your emotions since the cups are there, and um, this may be like a tangible relationship since it's pentacles, then a person might not know how to use those ways of expression, but express them in different ways. This could also lean towards love language too, a different love language that people respond well to. Okay, double King of Pentacles comes in here. King of Coins, King of Pentacles from this deck, the Slavic Legends Tarot. And that's in the future position, which seems good because, again, it does seem like the King of Pentacles is saving up to do something. It seems to be like more action oriented, forward in making that investment. It seems to be worth his while. And that's why I think it's important that he's trying to hold back in other areas or maybe focusing on less areas and focusing on the things that are important to him. As I say that, there's a Three of Swords that could be linked to the Death card too. I feel like with the Queen of Cups, sometimes like needing to have like that good emotional release, I guess, is also like a good thing to have for people. And it can also help you think and act clearly. As I said, it could affect different areas of your life. This is really interesting. Um, King of Pentacles comes out in this deck too. So this is this rendition of that card. And he's holding on to the coin. It kind of looks like he kind of polished it too. And maybe that's what like the dream could have been linked to because I did dream of like the bulls and the cattle, like cows because like there's the Taurus energy that comes out of not like dreaming of this specifically, but like just the animal in general that it could symbolize. So it's like see where you're investing in, and there's a lot that you already put into it. And even though it feels like maybe it's concerning that all this gravel or everything seems to be overflowing with it, it it's helping you get out of other things or helping you get out of that barren hole or pool that used to be there. Oh my God, me interpreting my own dream. The Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles seems to be super on point with like what I've been saying because the Four of Pentacles just holds that those I was going to say conditions, holds those um, objects, those things that are important for this to move forward until it's ready to like be released or to invest with the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can be seen as a card of loss because you had what you needed with the Four of Pentacles. Sometimes you had more than what you needed, but it could have been something that you were saving up for. Five of Pentacles in that way can be seen as, well, I don't have this anymore because I used it for something that was important to me, as the King of Pentacles is portraying in this reading. This is really, sorry, I keep saying it. King of Pentacles, take a shot for every time I say it, is what he or she is trying to do. Then you have, as I was saying, I just turned it around, the Five of Pentacles. So, let's see. And it even seems like different, I was getting conditions too. So this is like, it looks like wintertime, and even traditional like Rider-Waite Smith cards, you'll see it, it kind of like has that snowy type of scenery. Um, but I was also saying conditions because of what one of the items are in the card, which is a comb. And I don't know how far it is back in the day. I didn't think to look it up, but sometimes they would give like in Japan, they would give like the gift of like the combs as kind of indicating that they're going towards the direction of marriage. So there could be an integration in that way, or some type of terms or agreements that um, the King of Pentacles is going towards. Sorry, I keep saying it, which is great. This could be really looking towards the future and even family oriented, even though Ten of Pentacles is more linked to like lineage in that way, but in this Ten of Cups, it could also be like your soul tribe community, a place that you feel comfortable in. And it could be like a band of misfits too, and somehow, well, you two found each other and it just jives in that way. This is showing a family for the Ten of Cups from the Sunflower Field Tarot with the Nine of Cups. So these are really nice, excellent cards to have because it's towards the end of the cycle. A lot of people, like, it's good to be towards the end of the cycle. Sometimes it's a little sad because, like, you've built so much to get towards the end. But Nine of Cups is a card where the things that you wanted the most, those dreams that you want, that you desired, are finally coming coming through. So there's another Three of Swords that comes out. Okay. That seems to be the overall energy for the Slavic Legends Tarot. Three of Wands comes out. So three and three. Let me see what the angel number would be for that. My Ace of Wands. This kind of feels like with the Ace of Wands, taking that power back. This also feels like more of a dominance type of area too. And for the obstacle, it's the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, it kind of feels like it's moving up because even though it is a group effort, there is energy where you'll put either more effort or there's something that you do. Again, like if you're going for like a degree that you're really passionate about, it reflects on how much work and effort that you put in and the drive and the the ideas that come through. So it might feel like with that obstacle of how am I going to make this into a reality, but the Ace of Wands kind of takes matters into his or her own hands. The past is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands comes after the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is kind of like a blueprint card, and then you're kind of putting those um, investments where they need to be. Even though it's Wands, there's a lot of Pentacles here, and finding ways of how to make those investments. And it looks like you have been because this is like a waiting period from the Three of Wands, but then it goes to the King of Pentacles. And the things that you invested in, it kind of trickles down in a way where you may not see the full results right away, but I feel like with these cards here, it's saying that you will see those results and it's more rapid than what you're thinking it's going to be. So you have the World and the Eight of Swords here. Let me just pull out more cards and then that'll be the reading. The words that I'm getting is like making your own story. I'm not saying like making things up, but not doing like, what do they say? Like not doing what your parents have done before, or even before that, or even the people around you. If you're not a small town person, but you come from a small town, it might be time for you to like have that think and to ask yourself these questions on I'm in this place, but I feel like no one's listening to me, or I'm in this place and I feel like I'm not compatible with these people. I'm not like on the same page with them. There's something that just doesn't click. Because I know like when I was younger and I remember I used to work at like a Panera Bread, which wasn't bad. I met one of my close friends there, the one that just got married. Um, she, well, aside from her, because I wouldn't really talk to anybody, it was like, it's not like they were mean to me or anything, but it felt like when I would talk, it wasn't interesting to them, or it wasn't like a conversation that they necessarily were that interested to be in. Um, it just felt like they weren't interested in listening, which was fine. I don't want to force anybody to listen if they don't want to, but it just kind of felt like it would go through a lot of those patterns where being from this small area and just thinking that um, this isn't where I wanted to be, or end up. And I feel like that's one of those reasons why I kind of have a fight in me to like go somewhere else to see where I could thrive in that's going to be a place where I could check those boxes off. Because even though I would love to live in certain areas, maybe um, at this point, just to be starting off to go into the adult world and to, I mean, I've been in the adult world for a while, but um, to make that startup and to make it in a way that's kind of like fulfilling and comfortable for me. Of course, there's going to be uncomfortable times, but um, which I feel like with the Three of Swords, that's where it kind of comes in into play. And it looks like there's like, well, of course, there's birds on here, and it looks like it's a storm or there was a storm. But after the storm, it's the rainbow, as they say, and even those leaves that are dying, they come back to life because a tree knows when to shed its leaves when it's the fall time and knows when to grow them back when it gets warmer. With those birds, even though they're swans, and they're black swans, it could be like a different time to bloom. You can bloom at your own pace, and be kind and successful at your own pace too. It kind of reminds me of like the traveling of the geese, where it's like um, they're property of the crown. They fly south for the winter, and then I'm seeing them more and more because they fly south for the winter, isn't it? But I haven't seen them in a while. Now I'm trying to think, like, isn't that what it is? I haven't been in the area, so maybe that's why I haven't noticed it, but um, they've been here. So when did they come up? Hold on, let me think. It's like you thought you knew these birds. Well, they come to New Jersey. I haven't seen them a lot in the state that I've been working in, so maybe that's why it stood out to me. Because then when they come up when it's like warmer, fly south for the winter, and then come up when it's warmer. It makes sense now. So, I guess they've been here and they'll be on their way when it starts to get cold in this area. That's what I was trying to say. Hopefully, you understood that. The Two of Wands is here too, and it's the dreamer. And for some reason, the word like becoming an entrepreneur like stands out to me. I mean, you could be doing that too, but also going on that path that other people didn't think that they would be on that path, or haven't gone on that path because life was just different in that way. Um, and then the Ace of Swords here comes out again from the Universal Folk Tarot. And the word on there is the Navigator. And with that, it kind of feels like clouds clearing and illumination. So that's like a little bit of clarity, even with dragonfly energy. The Nine of Cups comes out again. That was for the World card and the Eight of Swords, because that was like in the present position of it's like such a paradox and kind of opposite because the world is kind of like a card of expansion, and then the Eight of Swords is like a card that like not being able to um mentally wrap your head around something. Like it just feels like there's something that just like cuts you off where you can't see that. But with the Ace of Swords, like illumination, since it's nighttime, it could be those psychic or intuitive hits in that realm too. Even though like it could be linking to cups in that way for psychic abilities, but overall, it does seem like there's clarity that comes out. Knight of Wands is here for the Three of Wands. The Knight of Wands kind of feels like there's a lot of energy that comes out of it, and I want to do all these things, but it's kind of like sometimes maybe you're missing an ingredient for a recipe that you want to make, and it's that like ingredient that is one of the important ones. Um, so you can't like skip out on it. So as soon as like you get your ingredient, like it gets delivered or you buy the ingredient, that's when it's like kind of go, 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 where you want to try to get this meal out, maybe for yourself because you're starving, or maybe for your like family. Of course, if they're hungry too and it's time for dinner, then it's the Queen of Cups that comes out again, and this is saying Coral Queen, so it could be linked to the King of Pentacles in that way too, because there is a type of um, prosperous energy or um, traditional meaning that goes with coral in that way. If you're thinking about it, maybe like in Native American traditions, it could be linked to the water, and it could be more of like a menstrual energy or like feminine or maternal energy that comes out of that. That could be linked to those intuitive hits with the three pentacles too, because sometimes like when you're in this setting and you're like thinking about all these ideas that you could have in order for something to grow, and that's what I feel like Three of Pentacles is trying to do. It's trying to grow something, grow it enough for it to be time for harvest, so the King of Pentacles can like, you know, pick at it and do what he or she needs to do. The last card is the Temperance card, which is a nice card to have, especially um, in lights of the last reading, because it is that calmness in chaos. And I think that with the Knight of Wands being in the past position with the Three of Wands, because the Three of Wands is in the past position, it might not be a bad thing to be there, because it seems like it might be thinking or waiting before doing, even though the Knight of Wands may not want to wait initially. It felt like there was an energy of it was like being forced to wait, but um, can be linked to angelic guidance as well because of the symbolism that you can find on the Temperance card. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video.